Harris, CEO and founder of the Face of Debt Freedom, a company designed to help you get out of debt. I am a financial accountability coach who has been debt-free since December of 2014, and it is my truest desire to see more people live the debt-free life, a debt-free life. Guys, it is so liberating to be able to just be, to just do, to not be obligated to owe any man anything but love. And that starts with you just, of course, making up your mind that you are ready to make some changes, because guys, being debt free is probably going to require you to make some financial changes. Why? Because most times when we don't live on a budget, typically what happens is we're just swiping, we're just spending, we're just withdrawing cash, and we're doing whatever, only to sit down and realize I really can't afford to do what I'm doing. So this company, this business is designed to help you see what you can and cannot do based off what you bring in, which is typically, guys, a lot. People freak out about the word budget because they feel like it constrains them or restrains them from doing the things that they want to do. And guys, I'm a witness that that is not true. You can do whatever you want to do within boundaries. You can vacation within boundaries. You can shop within boundaries. You can eat out, but you just have these boundaries in place based off what you need, what you want, in the sense of how much you bring in on a monthly basis, and of course how much is going out on a monthly basis or bi-weekly basis, however your paycheck and budget is set up. So today we're going to be talking about vacationing on a budget. On Wednesday, we discussed that possibly some of you guys cannot afford to go on the vacations you already have planned or are planning because of the financial strain that it would cause you. And I just reminded you guys to have that heart-to-heart with yourself and have that heart-to-heart with your family about where you are financially, so that you can make a sound decision about vacationing this summer. So today, as promised, I want to provide you with some alternative trips, just in case you do sit down and realize, hey, I can't afford to go across the country to the West Coast, or if you're watching from the West Coast, you can't afford to come to the East Coast, or if you're trying to go to New York or whatever, you realize after watching the video that you really can't afford it, and you've made up your mind to live a debt-free life. You've made up your mind to walk out debt freedom the best you know how. So I want to provide you with some tips and strategies you can use to vacation on a budget. Guys, it is possible. Ask my sisters. I do it all the time. I do. Before my vacation, which is one of the tips, so we'll start with that. Tip one is to save up prior to the vacation that you have coming up. So what you want to do is establish a vacation plan. If you want to go all out and do a vacation vision board, those are really, really popular. Like, vision boards are popular, so maybe you want to do a vacation vision board to outline exactly where you want to go, to outline exactly who you want to go on the trip. Are you going with your girls? Are you taking, is it? And then you need to establish a cost for the trip. And guys, when you're talking about cost, you need to include as much information as possible. Travel expense. Do you need to rent a car, or are you going to fly? Do you have to get a hotel room, or are you staying with family and friends? What are you going to eat? Are you guys going to stay in a place where you can cook your food, so you may need groceries when you get there? Or are you going to be eating out? Everything that you couldn't possibly think of, even right down to the souvenirs. I remember the first sister trip my sisters and I went on, I forgot to budget in souvenirs. And guys, on the inside, it was stressing me out because I had enough to eat. I had enough for the hotel. I had enough for my part of the car, but I forgot to budget in for souvenirs. And on the inside, I was panicking. So don't forget to budget for souvenirs and any other activities that you guys may be wanting to participate in, but you do this in advance. What you want to do is a year, if you can, 1 year prior to you going on your vacation, wherever that vacation is. Again, you want to, 1, make a vacation plan. 2, you want to count up the cost, and then the next thing you want to do is divide that estimated total cost by 12 if you're planning a year out, and you will see how much you need to save on a yearly basis. This way you are setting aside a little bit each month to get you to your immediate final destination, which is a vacation. Guys, this is a way for you to vacation without the strain and the pull and the agony over how you're going to get it done. Plus, you don't get into any debt doing it this way. You are paying for your own vacation, and you're not depending on American Express or MasterCard or any of your credit cards to pay the bill for you, where you're going to have to pay it back later. You're really paying yourself to go on vacation when it's time. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is for you to just go ahead and stay local. Guys, there are so many amusement parks and so many things you can do in your state that you have probably not explored. I was actually on Facebook just this week, and or maybe last week, and somebody had posted, I think it's in Helen, Georgia, where you get in these floats and you just ride down the river. It's like, I think maybe $12 for an all-day trip, or you can do it in hour intervals for a lesser amount of money. And guys, that's nothing. It's way cheaper for you to get in your car and drive to another city to experience some amusement park somewhere else versus getting in your car and driving hours to maybe Disney World or Disneyland, depending on where you stay. So that's the second tip. Find something you can do in your local city. And for Georgia, if you live in the state of Georgia, what you can do is go to georgiaexplore.org and see what events they have going on. Another thing you can do, if traveling city to city within your state is still too much of a financial burden, then one thing you can do is check your Chamber of Commerce. Your Chamber of Commerce website is going to provide for you different activities that are going on in your local city. And guys, sometimes these activities are free. My friend Allison and I, we would check it periodically from time to time, and they would have art shows going on from time to time. I know here in Albany, Georgia, downtown does movies in the park every summer, which is a free event. I think sometimes they do something for the 4th of July. Don't quote me on that. So there's your free fireworks show. Guys, utilize the websites associated with your state and your city to find things to do. Another thing under this same bracket as to staying local is for you to visit local parks and museums. All of our cities have, or typically all of our cities have, some type of park or some type of museum that you can visit. Guys, I've never been to the museum here in my city. I need to check the museum out here. We also have the Flint River Aquarium. I have been to that, but it's been a minute, so I could go take a trip there as well, just to stay local and save myself some money. Along those same lines, another thing that you can do is check for amusement parks in your state. Guys, Six Flags is always an option if you like roller coasters. If you are in Georgia and you want to go to, I think it's Wild Adventures, it's much closer than Disney World. And with these kinds of amusement parks, or Disneyland, with these kinds of amusement parks, what they'll do for you is provide for you and your family an opportunity to go and come back home. You're cutting out gas money. You're also cutting out the need to get a hotel room, and you are cutting out the need of just traveling long distances, which we know is going to increase your cost of a vacation. Guys, one more thing in this, stay local. If you have small children or children in general, visit your local library. They typically run specials over the summer specifically designed for children to participate in. So if you're worried about your kids having something to do or not having something to do because you don't take them on vacation, honestly because you possibly cannot afford it, then visit your local library. They have a schedule that they will probably give you at the front counter that lets you know when activities are going on. And guys, those things are really fun. I've seen some activities here from our local library, and with my grown self, I'm like, ooh, that looks fun, that looks interesting. I hope the kids show up, that kind of thing. And guys, they also have things for adults to do. I think there's a writing circle here in our local town that meets. They have some beginner classes that meet at the local library. They're offering different sessions on financial aid and different things like that. So just check your local library and the listings that they have going on in general if you want something free to do over the course of the year. And guys, that will most definitely save you some money. Finally, guys, one thing you can do if you have kids is, of course, enroll them in a summer camp. A lot of summer camps take a trip with the students over the course of the summer or at the end of the summer, and that'll be a good way for your child to get exposed to going somewhere without it costing you that much money. Of course, you'll pay the summer camp fee, but that summer camp fee over the length of the summer may very well be cheaper than actually taking everybody in the family on an extended family vacation. So that is tip number 2: stay local. Tip number 3 is for you to do a staycation. And how is that different from staying local? Well, with a staycation, what you can do is actually check yourself and your family, if you have one, into a hotel and just get away from the house. A lot of times we want to vacation just to get away from our physical homes. So what is it for you to drive an hour or an hour or two to another city and just enjoy the ride, just enjoy the vibe and the feel of being in a hotel room away from home? If you can, see if you can find a hotel who's having some type of special or who's doing some type of activities. I know I went to a hotel one time and they were doing, I don't know if it was a meet and greet, they were doing some kind of social in the lobby. So you may look up and get a chance to do something like that. I visited a hotel that had an amusement park in it. So let's say you do decide to go to Florida. Maybe you'll just go to Florida and stay in one of the hotels that has that amenity, and that be it, guys. What you're trying to do on your way to debt freedom is enjoy life. It should not be a burden. It should not weigh you down. Debt is already doing that, but you can have a good time. You can do some things even on a budget. And guys, I cannot stress that enough. Budgeting or a spending plan, guys, is simply designed to help you live within your means and get some things done. So the tip number 4 is to get your family involved. If you're not single, or even if you are single, involve your cousins involved, your aunts and uncles involved in a vacation. We all know this helps cuts down on costs, the more people that go. And it also kind of maybe boosts costs up too. So consider that, because you'll need more rooms, you'll need more things. But hey, sometimes I remember my family and I, we went to Indiana in a van. And we were all in the van, guys. We had a blast. We prepared food like old school style. We had fried chicken sandwiches, and we just made a trip out of getting there and then made a trip out of coming back, and it saved us money that time. We did it like that. So your family may want to try that. Your friends, you may want to try that with just your friends, as opposed to feeling like you have to foot the bill alone. But with this particular method, what you can do to get your family and friends involved is everybody pick something they like to do in the city where you live, and then you guys go and do that. So if I have a favorite restaurant I like to visit in my city, then I plan for that. Make sure you let everyone know how much it's going to cost, and then that's something you can do. Maybe someone else loves an amusement park or an art gallery or botanical gardens or something along those lines, at least in Georgia, that's local to you guys wherever you are. And that's going to bring a new experience to the table, and it's going to help, if you have kids, involve them in the plan. Say, hey, I'm giving you $50 to plan a family trip or to plan a family vacation day in the city. What would you like to do? Where would you like to go? And guys, that'll do 2 or 3 things for them. It'll help them stay academically sound, because it's going to have their brains working to budget the money that you give them. And yeah, you can't do it with $50, but whatever you guys decide. And it'll give them a chance to have a voice within what goes on within the family dynamics. And they'll get to do something they genuinely enjoy doing, and it'll put their smartphone to use. If they're old enough to make plans like that, then they possibly are old enough to have a phone, and they'll be on the phone possibly doing some research as to what's available in the city where you guys live, and give everybody a chance to be involved in the family vacationing but you get a chance to explore your local city or maybe a surrounding city without the burden and the cost that sometimes traveling, far distances can put on you from a financial stance. So I am Agent Harris from the Face of Debt Freedom. I live a debt-free life, guys. I was able to get out of debt in my lifetime, and I want to be your financial accountability coach to help you do the same. Today we just discussed